What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe right now and join the B Squad family. Also make sure you guys turn notifications on because you don't want to miss out on any new videos. So as you guys can probably tell, I'm in like a different scenery because I just wanted to do something different. I kind of wanted to switch it up. I was giving you guys the same scenery, you know, back to back videos, and I was like, you know what, I need something new, they probably need something new, so let's do something new. So as you guys can probably already tell by the title, today's video is a story time, and it's a story time just about like being a teen mom, pregnancy at a young age, and like everything that has to do with that. So make sure you guys give this video a fat thumbs up. Let's try and get like 2,000 likes, and if we get 2,000 likes on this video, then I'll make sure I do another story time about something else. So yeah, if you guys are ready, then come with me and let's get right into the video. Okay, so I don't really know where to start off because there's so much that I could say. Oh, also guys, if you guys hear the air in the background, sorry, it says it's 130 degrees outside right now and it's really hot, so I have to have a little bit of the air on. I'm not gonna blast it too much because I also want you guys to be able to hear me. So yeah, so where should I start off? I guess I can start off by telling you guys that I got pregnant at the age of 17. I was still in high school. I believe I got pregnant the summer before my senior year. So I got pregnant around August. I found out I was pregnant August 14th. So no, I got pregnant, I think around like July. Okay, yeah, I got pregnant around July, and I found out I was pregnant on August 14th. And the way I found out I was pregnant, basically I just, you know, I didn't feel good. I was getting lightheaded and all that stuff, so I texted my mom and told her that something was wrong with me and that, you know, I just didn't feel good. And she was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, it sounds like you're pregnant, you're having pregnancy symptoms. So she was like, you know, you need to take a test. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I took a test trying to prove my mom wrong, and what do you know, the test came out positive. I screamed and I cried and I had all these emotions like everywhere because, like I said, I was 17 years old. I was young. I was going into my senior year. You know, senior year I was a cheerleader, so I had cheerleading, there's senior prom, there's senior skip day. Like there's so much stuff, like so much fun stuff that goes on being a senior because it's your last year of high school. You went through, you know, 11 years of schooling, and then it's your last year, and to find out that you're pregnant, you know, through it, my emotions just were everywhere. So I called my boyfriend at the time, which is Damien. Damien's my husband now. I called him at the time and I was like, look, you know, I'm pregnant, and I was crying, and he was like, stop crying, it's gonna be all right, I'm here for you, you know, I'm happy. And me and him are 5 years apart. So he was 20, I think he was 21, I think he was 22 at the time, and I was 17. Now I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna talk about our age difference and all that stuff, but to be honest, like I was 17, I was able to do whatever I wanted to do. You know, they say that at 16 you can date whoever you want as long as your parents consent of it. So, you know, we were 5 years apart. There's nothing anybody could do about it. And yeah, so I was pregnant, and I told my mom, and she texted me, like she didn't text me back at first because I was at my grandma's house. My grandma stayed about an hour away from where we stayed at. So I texted my mom, and I was like, I think I sent her a picture of the positive pregnancy test, and she didn't reply. She was at work, but knowing my mom, she's on her phone while she's at work, so for her not to text back, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, she's mad. So then I texted her again, and then I was like, are you disappointed? And she was like, well, yeah, what do you expect? You know, basically she was saying that she was so disappointed in me because of, one, I was so young, and like my parents had to talk with me all the time. Like the talk is, don't have SCX, don't get into all the drama with the boys, don't do this, don't do that, if you're gonna do it, wear protection. And you know, she basically, all she responded back to me, she said, you have a doctor's appointment in September. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever, you know. She didn't reply. So then I went home, and she was like, you need to tell your dad. She was like, you're gonna tell your dad face to face, and you're gonna tell him now. So Damien came over and we told him together. Basically I was too scared to tell him, so Damien ended up telling my dad, and he did what a regular, you know, caring dad would do. He went crazy, he yelled, he got mad, you know, him and Damien actually got into it, and it was just like a lot. And then my mom, she offered me options. Basically, she was like, you know, there's adoption, there's this, there's that, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm 17 years old, but at the same time, it's like, if I can lay down and open my legs, I can take care of this child, you know? Even though I was 17, I still had like the right mindset of like knowing that I don't want my child to be out here with another family, or I don't want to, you know, abort him. At the time, I didn't know the gender, but you know, I was just like, that kind of like hurt me, even though like my mom was just trying to look out for me. It kind of hurt me because, you know, I mean, it's a human being, it's a child. And me personally, I don't believe in abortion because I feel like it's murder, and I feel like, you know, if you can lay down and you can do this, then you can have this child. Now, getting raped is a whole different situation. I've never been in that situation, so I don't know what I would have done if I would have got raped and got pregnant off of that. But I do know that me and Damien at the time, you know, we were together, we were in a relationship, and we were doing, you know, the baby making stuff. So I started, let's like fast forward a little bit. I found out it was a boy, you know, we were happy, and then I started having these cramps at about, I believe I was like 19 weeks. I started having these cramps. So I went to the doctor and they told me that I was having early contractions and that I needed to be on bed rest. So they put me on bed rest for a whole week. After that, I went back in and everything looked normal again. So I could go back to work, I could go back to school, I could go back to doing everything that, you know, I needed to do. And when I was at work, it was about 4 p.m. on February 10th, no, not February 10th, on February 8th, I was having like these really strong contractions, and all of a sudden like I felt like I peed myself, and I was like, okay, I know I didn't pee myself because this stuff that's coming out of me is like non-stop. So I went to the bathroom and my mucus plug fell out. Called my mom, told her, Biannca, you need to get home now. So I went home, you know, we went to the hospital. I was 1 centimeter dilated, but since my water had already broke, they told me that I couldn't leave. And mind you, I was only 32 weeks. A full-term pregnancy is between 36 and 40 weeks. So I was only 32 weeks, so I still had about 4 more weeks until he was, you know, basically well enough to survive on his own. So on Monday, February 9th at 3:37 in the morning, I had my son, Damon Jr., and it was the scariest moment ever. 1, because I'm a first-time mom. 2, I'm a teenage mom and I didn't know what the hell was going on. 3, I was only 32 weeks, so there was like so much stuff going on. I just didn't know what to expect. They let me take a picture with him, but they didn't let me hold him. They took him and, okay, I have to breathe because I really don't want to cry. I did my makeup for this video. Yes, I did my makeup for this video and I don't want to cry. Okay, so they took him away and I got to see him a couple hours later, and when I seen him, he was hooked up to all these tubes and an oxygen thing and a feeding tube and like all these monitors. It was literally the scariest thing ever in my entire life. Literally the scariest thing ever. And when I tell you, I looked at him, I picked him up, and when I seen his ribs and how small he was, all I could think to myself was, what did I do? I laid down, made this child, and now I feel like I can't even protect him. You know, it's a mother's job to protect their kids, and I felt like I failed already at being a mother, and I was only a mother for a couple of hours, and I felt like I failed already. I thought to myself, I was like, can I even do this? Am I even strong enough to be his mom? Am I even mature enough, old enough to take care of a child when I'm still a child myself? I thought all this stuff, but then I look at him and I see him smile, and you know, I see all his little features, and I hear his cry, I smell him, and you know, God told me, I put this baby inside of you. This is your child. You're going to protect him. Even though he's, you know, he was born early, you know, stuff happened. It was my choice. It was up to me to protect him for the rest of his life now. After he entered that world, it was my job. It wasn't nobody else's job. It was my job to take care of that child because I carried him for 8 months. So it was just a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna fast forward to a month later. He was in the, okay. Oh, Jesus. I should have brought a napkin. Okay, honey, stop the crying. Okay, so basically I'm gonna fast forward to a month later. He was in the ICU, NICU, it's called the NICU, for a whole month. And after I brought him home, you know, it was hard because, like I said, I was still in school, I was working, I was still living with my parents, you know, Damon was working, my parents were working, I didn't have a babysitter, so it was really hard. And then I didn't even make enough money, you know. I was working at Little Caesars, bringing home these little $200 checks every 2 weeks. That's $400 a month. Diapers and formula, that's already like $60 alone. That's already 200 minus 60, that's 140. And then I still had to provide for clothes and wipes and, you know, socks and hat and the car seat, and you know, it was just a lot of stuff going on. But you know, I made it work. We made it work. Me and Damon, me and my family, you know, they helped out times, and Damon's mom helped out. Basically what I'm trying to say is, being pregnant at a young age is really difficult, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. But if it does happen, the number one thing that you need is a support system. You need people around you who are going to be there for you, who are going to help you, motivate you. You know, it's not their job to take care of that child, but you need somebody there that's going to, you know, help through it. Because being a first-time mom, even if you're like 30 years old and you're a first-time mom, you're still going to need somebody there to tell you what to do. Not physically tell you what to do, but to help you step by step. People who have already been there. If I didn't have my mom and I didn't have the people around me, I don't know what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? Like, they helped me money, you know, financially, emotionally, physically. They helped me through everything. So shout out to my parents, shout out to Damon's parents, shout out to Damien, shout out to everybody that was around me, my sisters, you know, shout out to everybody that was around me helping me take care of him. Because like I said, if it wasn't for y'all, then I probably, you know, I wouldn't be the mom that I am today. And then, you know, a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, I got pregnant at 19, and I had my second child, you know, at 19. So being like, I'm just gonna give like a little advice for like you young moms or just anybody in general. I'm not gonna tell you guys what to do with your kids. I'm not trying to tell you guys how to raise them. I'm not telling you guys anything. All I'm gonna tell you is what I know and what I've experienced so far in my life. I'm only 21. You know, I'm 21 and I have 2 kids, trying on my 3rd. I want all my kids close in age, so that's why I'm doing it. A lot of people say, you're young and you have, you know, 2 kids already and your life stops and all that BS. Like, my life didn't stop. My life actually just began. You know, like, just because you have kids doesn't mean you can't travel the world. Just because you had kids doesn't mean you can't finish college. Just because you had kids doesn't mean you can start your own business. You know, just because you had kids, it doesn't mean anything. That is the number one thing that I hate. I absolutely hate when people tell you that your life is over. If anything, your kids should make you want to grind harder. Your kids should make you want to, you know, succeed in life even harder, because you're not in it by yourself anymore. You have a little one looking after you. You have somebody that when they get older, they're gonna see what mommy and daddy did. They're not gonna know what to do in life. It's your job to tell them what to do and what not to do, right from wrong. So don't let anybody tell you guys that your life's over. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't be successful. You can't do what you want to do. You know, like, it's just certain subjects that kind of get me like rowdied up, because if you need help, there's people out here. It may not be family, it may not be friends, but there's support systems, there's counselors, there's other people out here who are willing to help you. And you just have to, you know, you are gonna have to do stuff on your own. You're gonna have to figure out some stuff on your own, and that's okay. Google has answers. You know, they always say a mom's instinct is always right. If you feel like something's wrong, then something's probably wrong. If you feel like you're doing a great job, then you're probably doing a great job. You know, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on when being a teenage mom, or even being like a mom period, that I can't really tell you guys what to do. I can only tell you guys my experience, and my experience was hard. Being 17 and 19, it's still hard to this day, especially since I moved down to Texas and none of my family's here. It's still hard to this day because I have nobody here to help me. I have Damon, but me and him need a break sometimes, and we don't get those breaks. But once again, we lay down and made these kids. It's our job to take care of these kids. So, you know, overall, you know, being a teenage parent is physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, everything is hard. It really is hard, but it can't get done. And don't ever say you can't. Always say you can, and you will. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed that video, then make sure you guys give it a fat thumbs up. and I'll see you next time. I am out. Peace.